stand by. Snuff it.
Torment my children no longer.
Enough.
What took you so long? The Amalj are in trouble. Let's split up.
Very well. I shall fly to the raid.
Oh, no, you don't.
I shall free you from thy grief. You will lend us our aid. Then let us crush this accursed worm. We must hold our ground until the defenses are destroyed. Once the way is clear, touch the enemy's heart. I will call into my chamber.
Wailing Westmesh. On in Arcane.
Skycon waited in the heavens. My child shall bear them to me. Children of man, the shade of my beloved is no more, and I shall forever be with.
Snodo in Isto.
By your deeds are we set free, and free we shall remain as long as I draw breath. Never again shall the dragons of Mericidia be hearkened to the lies of this I vow.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well.
Yes, it is an Amalda.
Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
We would be proud to call you our allies.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Guardians who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
Get back!
No! What have I done?
It's too late for them! We're leaving, now!
No! No! Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together.
I should have known you'd be the one to end it. Mayhap now Tiamat will find some measure of solace. To see the Amalja fighting alongside us brought to mind the Zune of the Crystarium. I pray our peoples can forge bonds as strong as those of our counterparts in the First. Is it true? Has Lunar Bahamut been defeated? From what I could tell, there didn't seem to be many Imperials in the vicinity of the tower. Hopefully, Arnvald will have used the opportunity to get in and out undetected. Tiamat did all she promised and more this day, but I doubt she will be satisfied. Nay, she will fight on in defense of her children, wheresoever they may be. It will take more than a single victory to wash away all the bad blood between the men and Amalja, but one has to start somewhere. Though the day is won, thanks in no part to thy valor, the Talafaroi are far from defeated. Yet be that as it may, 'tis only right that we rejoice in Lunar Bahamut's banishment into the Ether. While it would have been too much to hope that we have seen the last of Fandaniel, we have dealt the schemes of telling blow this day. That alone is cause to celebrate. And celebrate I will, when we have received word of Arnvald's safe return. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave Scions! Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the Frontistery. Your grace, whatever is the matter? As our troops withdrew from Palathon, they came upon 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear a full account, but it seems that one of them, your friend, I believe, has been wounded and was being dragged away by the other. Oh no. I must go. Forgive me, your grace. Can you tell us aught of Arnvald's condition, your grace, the wounded scout? Not save that it is grave. The Carugians tend to him even as we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with the wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Sarah, Estinian, would you mind going after Alphino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see that the relevant people know what took place in Palathon. Come on, then. Of course I can't. Instead of standing there gawping, why don't you tell your friend to stop whining like an underfed dog? People are fighting for their lives in there. I take it Alphinaud's found a Varbold. I know how he feels, but hand-wringing isn't going to help anyone. You better have a word. Please, tell me something. Anything. Another one come to see the lad in silver armor. Master Damilo is turning to speak. Be so kind as to wait. What did Master Damilo say? He told me exact words. Enough, Alphinaud. This isn't helping. Yeah, you're right. Forgive me. When we said our farewells to Arnold, I was afraid something like this might happen. But now that it has, all I can do is wait.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you lot'll be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
Her eyes are filled with sorrow. Sorrow deep enough to drown in. I know there is nothing more I can do here. Come, let us rejoin the others. Her Grace invites the Scions of the 7th Dawn to join her at the Fragrant Chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the 3 of you be joining them? We will.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fan Daniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
You need only tell me where they are, Your Grace.
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, Conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Pagalthan. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
If there's no reason to move, I will take a look. Amidst this great push for peace and with the Beast Tribes, we would do well to remember that the old prejudices yet remain. It is a delicate political dance, and I do not envy the Sultana her task, nor any honestly. Often knows only too well that sacrifices are an unavoidable part of conflict. Knowing something does not change how one feels about it. You so shall have shared adventures with Emerald, have you not? Then I shall say no more. With the secrets of the towers thus laid bare, our duty to prevent further abductions taketh now on new import. Fail in this, and our enemy shall punish our negligence with a plague of blows. Even with the threat of temporary the Grand Company shall have quite the task on their hands. Regardless of Brigade's protestations on the contrary, it may be best to dispatch a few of our own to assist in our endeavor. Remember to mention it to Tataru, would you? Though we have won our first battle against the Telophoroi, and made significant discoveries to prove the war has scarcely begun. We must steel ourselves with what lies ahead. Right then. And unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. And that includes you, Alfredo. Arnvald is in good hands here. Oh, of course. You would doubtless mock me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire then, that we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. All in agreement then, I shall let Cryle know to expect us. A hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging with the time around. Good, be home. I have some thinking to do. Yes, I'll try asking you. And thank you. I shall look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Cryle in particular has a few matters she is keen to discuss, one of which concerns you, Estinian, believe it or not. You will join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding that Baldessian woman. If I refused, she would only pursue me. Let's get this over with, shall we?
Welcome back. I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldessian will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing. A topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Near the end of the Dragonsong War.
When you regained her blessing, was it not? But never since. Not in all your time in the First, when you faced the Unsundered, the very heart of Zodiark.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the Echo in her Chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in her judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own. And as far as I am able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now, of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again, will you join us?
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo, you inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinian. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Does this one meet with your approval? Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken. Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting. Though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
Amidst all the fighting, it's easy to forget that what we've achieved, isn't it? I mean, we cured Tiamat. Tiamat, for heaven's sake! Maybe you'll tell me if I become insufferably slow, won't you? Because the way things are going feels like a definite possibility. Interesting. No one can deny that Hadeland's blessing has been a great boon to our cause, but much remains unknown with regards to her true intentions. Given everything we have learned from our encounters with the Ascians, we must keep our minds open to any and all possibilities. The sudden appearance of the towers will surely not have escaped the Forum's notice. We'd like to think they would be receptive to Krau's request for cooperation in investigating the matter. But unfortunately, their reputation would suggest otherwise. It strikes me as odd that rather than marching on one of the city-states, the Telophorai have so far made only sporadic attacks. I doubt they'd go for the trouble of putting up all those towers if that was all they had in store for us. But we know not the full extent of Telophorai schemes. Preventing the further abductions must take precedence above all else, for therein lieth the key to depriving our enemy of its most potent weapon. If you need my lance, I'll be ready. If not, I'll be reserving my strength in preparation for the next battle. But since you're here, I have a question. Scions are in close contact with the East Aldernon Trading Company of Kugana, yes? I was wondering if we could place an order for some sun-dried squid. I don't seem to be able to find it in these parts. If I am to pursue this course, I must be prepared for the hardships that lie ahead. Well, looks like I'm going to have to probably have a busy few moons. Not that there ever seem to be anything but. Thanker's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, because I do. But when it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well, then you lot, Mark Henry. You won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future. For every fell fiend you vanquish, is countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in. And gladly, mind you, the least I can do to support the science who risk life and limb, like poor Armfall. I wish it was something we could do for him. We'll just have to settle for saying the odd prayer and keeping a roof over our heads. It wouldn't do to have him come back to a complete shambles, now would it? But enough of my rambling. Off you go and get some rest. If there are any developments, I'll promise you'll be the first to know. It's worth grinding chess pieces. Okay. As of this moment, you're under strict orders to get as much rest as possible. After all, we need Our Lady fighting fit when the Telafari rear their ugly heads again. Ah, Sarah, you're looking well. Taking managed to squeeze in some rest. If you had come hoping for tidings from Kyle, I'm afraid we're still waiting, but we do have some odd scraps of news to share. Scraps, she says. Lunar primals have been popping up all over the place. The Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks in no parts to Hori bolder than the others. Meanwhile, talks with the beast tribes are going even better than expected. Encouraged by Ulda's progress with the Amalja, Gridani has opened negotiations with the XIV, believe it or not. All of which is obviously very encouraging, but the Telafari is still out there. It's not as if we can afford to lower our guard. Pardon, but come bearing an invitation from the Alliance. Council meetings due to be held in Alameda, and your attendance is humbly requested. Ah, we were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda? I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telafari, in concert with our new allies. The Beast Tribes have also been invited. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe. So the Alliance would bring all the Beast Tribes into the fold as a single stroke. Ambitious plan given the delicacy of the negotiations, but I have to be expedient considering the threat we face. Indeed, my lady. As for their part, I am told the Beast Tribes have agreed to present. Science, too, our president of the All Azaria will be represented. To arrange such a meeting must be quite an undertaking. Not only diplomatic, but practical. Praying from the Alliance, we would be honored to participate. We shall make for Alameda without delay. The noble barrier answered thither with all haste. Look forward to receiving you at the royal palace. Well, now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to invite you? I move that you and Yushtala lead our contingent. Given how long you've worked with and summoning, it is only right to be present for what promises to be a historic moment. I think we've all played our part in the battle endeavor. Don't you say? Don't you, Sarah? All present may rightly claim a seat. I do quite agree. By your leave, I shall remain here to lend what assistance I can to the coordination of defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Emmerich will be there, and I'd rather not be interrogated. Very well. While those who with a mind to hold the fort get on with holding it, I suggest the rest of us make our way, shall we? Don't forget to bring something nice from Alamigo. I shall take this opportunity to gain a better understanding of Sarah Estinian. Being Elizan of like age, it is possible we have interests in common. Mayhap I shall begin by lending him a favorite treatise or two from my collection. I don't know about that, Urianger. Don't worry, I have no plans of returning to roaming in your absence. I know you'd only chase me if I did. We've been expecting you. While some few guests have yet to arrive, the Alliance leaders are all present. I'll show you now.
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay! Freed our people must be!
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
Y'Stola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon, the Empire, our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome. I beg your pardon?
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little tricky without gills, perhaps? Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We, Sahagin, will play our part.
We kobolds have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future, as allies united in purpose.
Make mock of the Ixal, the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets! Pits brother against brother! Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I see we are all in accord. But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the Scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea. What say you, my friend?
I would call it the Grand Company of Eorzea.
But that's the name I...
A fine choice. For there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, Oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
We have won over the leaders, and the leaders must win over their own people. No small task, I promise you. But we've come a long way since when we first joined with Minfilia to in the beginning of the summer. A long, long way. Grand Company of Eaton. What a real form of celebration. For observing, but Alphino seems less than jubilant. His thoughts still be occupied by the 84 army. Pity they took the of an annihilation for everyone to cast their grievances aside. But better late than never, I suppose. Well, now that we are out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set foot upon these shores. That I was as heartened by as anyone to see the people of Eorzea's pledge to solidarity. Even as out of their declaration, all I could think about was the conflict to come. Of the sacrifices that would be made, and the lives lost, and the inevitabilities I still struggle to accept. But now, at least there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step. First of many. Many, and more. Caesar, how might be of service? I seek Master Alphino's assistance in a matter involving Gridania's neighbors, the Sylphs. I know that you and yours have long kept a weather eye on the crystal trade, the better to predict the coming of Primus, and so you will be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ashground Consortium. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations not only with the city-states, but with other many communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes. Just so, it is our hope that we may make use of the Sylphs' established lanes of communication to coordinate our efforts with our new fellowship. Yet there remain certain practical differences between the Trade Consortium and the Grand Company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they would require the Council of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force. An armed force founded with the self-same goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgiving Master Alphino, I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. My hubris, I plotted a course of the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception. One intended to pave the way for the founding, one intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. All my plans all came to naught. Built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests. And I have no wish to see this endeavor suffer the same fate. Mayhap I asked too much of you? Not at all. You may count upon my assistance for what little it is worth. While you leave, I shall prepare a report including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from the failure of the Crystal Blades. You have my gratitude, Master Alphino, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt but our fellowship shall emerge from the shadows of the Telafroy and flourish. Till next we meet, my friends. Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should hear. Former braves, you understand. Might you join me and seek them out? As if you have to ask. Thank you. As well as someone who witnessed the orders rise and fall, yours would be a reassuring presence. I'll join you. For planning and canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it would be a lot quicker if we shared the task of questioning them. And mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account for the day's events. I should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way. It will not be easy to revisit the past, but sometimes one must look back to see the way forward. I think it will soon be playing self-sufficient. How fascinating it will be to speak with the neighbors. I gather the conversation can prove rather challenging. So is the plan, brother of mine? For discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I proposed is largely written. Not long after that fateful day in the detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception to the feelings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone. Its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be brought into encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seemed to be the crucial question, namely, why, if the Crystal Base disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. You think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new grand company together. And this knowledge will prevent us from falling apart when those bonds are inevitably tested. That is my hope, yes. But the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I doubt those who abandoned the cause would welcome my inquiries. Then Graha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however, some of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you and let us reconvene in Gridania later on. If you have no objections, I have in mind to begin by speaking with Riel and Alian. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing at the Castle Marines. Let's seek them out there. To see you here, sir. If you enjoy intelligence briefings, you come to the right place. It's all such briefings are solving exciting affairs. The importance of coordinating our efforts with our allies cannot be overstated. In that regard, Alian and Riel have been most dependent. Well, look who it is. And what brings you two here? Wouldn't have anything to do with the big meet, would you? Would it? A matter of speaking, been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. So you want to know why we decided to stick with science, eh? Right? And you can see we can put into words that. As real about a test, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you of the traitors in our midst. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others. We were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself. Will continue to serve the cause for as long as I am able. But that wasn't my only reason. When we finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that had happened, everything you suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. As for Meal and Tail, well, I've always felt the Science had something in common with Meal and Crew. The duty of the strong to protecting the weak. That was our creed, and I still strive to live by it to this day. As time goes on, I've learned that the strength comes from many shapes and sizes. From Hoary Boulder to Mr. Stataru. All of us got something to offer. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain. Because we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting, which is what being in science all about. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Sarah, could you... give us your thoughts on the Crystal Braves. Well, its founding ideals were something to be proud of, but ideals alone don't make a crew. For everyone squab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Ours was quite a disparate band, and while I will never forgive Ilberd, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts. Just a pity he was doing it for all the wrong reasons, eh? It only takes one battle apple, as they say, and the Braves were a barrel full of them. Unlike the Scions. We might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down we've all got that shared sense of purpose. And why? Because Sartaru sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. I see. While our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we are all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make record of our discussion and refer it to when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. Speaking of former Crystal Braves, I've not seen Argmus of late. Constantly on one of nations as he is. What are your affairs? The company of heroes went their separate ways. I did try working on my own company. I'll admit it was nice being able to pick up me on balance. If you want to make a real difference, you need to find a good crew to stick with. Ooh, that looks good. Well, I think we have taken up enough of our colleagues' time, and I am conscious that less life-affirming testimonies await. Let's make our way to Gridani and hear what the others have heard. I took the opportunity to write up my notes from our conversation with Ali and Rio. All that remains is to add Ali's and Graham's findings, wherever they may be. Ali says sets her mind on something, there's no stopping. Her mind was truly set on finding and forming Braves. For a while, I even feared that what she might do to them. But in the end, she was admirably civil, for the most part. Thanks to Tartar's ever dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former braves without any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we heard enough to form a picture. It was pointing, Alphonel. Some of the comments were harsh. You can well imagine, but their opinions are no less valid as my report. Seek the unvarnished truth. Thank you. I'll set about adding your findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go ahead to Little Solace and seek out Elder Fixio. I will join you or not. Leave me to attend to my report and join the others in Little Solace. I shan't keep you waiting long. I know how playful the sylphs can be. About it, of the four of us, only you and Alphonel have any real experience conversing with sylphs. Still, it can't be that hard, can it? Though I had the honor of sharing a table with Elder Fixio and Negro, I did not have an opportunity to speak with him. Two of my studies have granted me a sufficient grasp of his people's customs. Welcome, Brave One and friends of Brave One. How good is it to see Walking Ones again so soon after the meeting? Should this one perform the customary dance of greeting? No, be at ease. It is true that these ones once delighted in making Walking Ones dance, but no more. Horned One County Santa said that Walking Ones would be coming to Little Solace. Imperial Ones also invented Sylphlands and defected many of the little these ones. These ones will be glad to bear messages between fighting friendly ones. That is heartening to hear. Will require all ones to work in unison with Dr. Talapa. These ones will try very hard, of course, but in matters of war, these ones have little experience. Any advice Walking Ones can provide will be most welcome. Oh? Another pretty silver-haired one, and quite in a hurry, it seems. I would say you must come quickly. I said, whoever's the matter, Alpha? No, don't tell me. You couldn't read my handwriting. Well, no, Twin-Adder officer accosted me so I got to set out. Charlene has sent an envoy who is dared to arrive in Grodani at any moment. An envoy? Kibika has managed to sway the farm. We shall know soon enough, but there's more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience of the Albacete. Really? I can't see why they might not want the science to be present, but let's be specific. Wait, it isn't who I think it is. It is. I can scarcely believe it myself, but when I inquired the envoy's identity, I was told it was one Fortuno Levigier. Your father? Well, the fact that serving a member of the firm had learned to here would be surprising enough. No. Quite. I gleaned from this they were taking the matter seriously. That may be, but why him and not one of the other 98 informers? Unless he volunteered for it. It's been some time you last saw your father, is it not? Could it be his concern for your well-being? Perhaps. He's always been reluctant to discuss his work with us. Indeed, and whatever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet with him after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose. Elder Fixio, loath I am to cut our visit short. We must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies along with my report. Never mind. There will be time to talk later. This one will keep Walking Ones for more urgent matters. Go. The audience will be held at the Lotus Stand, where the elder seats are await even now. Let us be on our way. seats here and your friends are waiting within. After all this time away, it would be good to see my father, even if it is an official meeting. 99 may seem like a rather lot of numbers, but even before the Forum was founded, every person of age in Shadowland was given an equal say in its governance. Many of the institutions that are still active today were established by the people's vote, not least the studio. As I always say, we're constantly reminded during our time there, and it's an example of what can be achieved through absolute democracy. During my time in Charlotte, I heard much of Fortune every year. He's a gifted speaker, known amongst the amongst other things for uncompromising application of foreign policy. My friends, I thank you all for coming so swiftly. Word of Master Fortune's visit took us quite by surprise. When the Alliance granted Mr. Scarrow permission to request Shadowland's aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less that it would be delivered by a member of the Forum. What nature of the reply may be, we shall soon discover.
Elder Seedseer, I thank you for granting me this audience. I am Fortuno Leveilleur, here in my capacity as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Fortuno, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
As do you both. Ameliance will be glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves.
How is Mother?
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisoix, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the Primals. Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene. And my position remains unchanged.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Sharlayan stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life. Who we are. But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Sharlayan will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days? Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald. One in which Sharlayan will take no part. If the final days were truly upon us, we would know.
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider. You may feel safe on your little island across the waves, but if you imagine the Telophoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all, themselves included.
Alphino is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlayan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlayan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline. But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so vehemently opposed your grandfather's departure? For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify such sacrifice? It is the duty of the learned to avert such tragedy. By fanning the flames of war, you forsake all you once held dear.
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably say is not wisdom. It is indolence.
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike her, you should know better. By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlayan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy. Alphino, Alisaie, as of this moment, you shall no longer bear the name of Leveilleur.
What?
Father!
How you choose to live your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
Master Fourcheneau, while Sharlayan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlayan's hopes for the morrow?
I have said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
Father! Wait!
Don't bother, Alisaie!
How can you stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
It was not so very long ago that we had a friend and neighbor in Sharlayan, and so I clung to the hope that she might yet lend us her strength. But when she forsook Jarvania, it would seem she forsook us all. In order to avoid conflict with Garlemald, Paul went so far as to order the abandonment of the entire city-state. The refusal to aid us now, I am is, I am sorry to say, entirely consistent with their historic position. Is it we who will walk the path of ruin? Time will tell. So that's what he came here to say. That we're all fools for having the temerity of defending ourselves against the Telafri, and as for the rest. Like it or not, this was the Forum's decision. To watch from afar while he hears your birds. Father was but the messenger. And as he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't. To have prolonged the discussion would have changed little, for it is not only the Master Foshnal who must be persuaded, but the Forum as a whole. Their decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it like to be changed, and so we shall face the Telafri without their aid. Forgive me, but they had no intention of helping us, and why would they go to the trouble of summoning an envoy in the first place? Or would they simply keep the council as they are wont to do? Sarah, has Master Foshnal arrived yet? And it is as I feared. My efforts were in vain. I pleaded our case to the many Forum members as I could, but they flatly refused to discuss the matter. No, that's not exactly true. I should rather say they ignored every word I said on the subject, without exception. It was almost unnerving. Could it be that they are hiding something from us? That might go some way to explain Master Foshnal's performance. When he said that they would know if the following days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. But whether they generally believe that they know how the world will end and simply disagree with us about the circumstances. That I don't know, but something tells me they're not as unconcerned about the Telafri as they claim. If the threat were real, why would it be so standoffish and secretive? I would very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted every avenue of inquiry. Nor have I fared any better with my other mission, researching Hadland in the AOC. Tried enlisting the help of experts in the field, but it appears the Forum has forbidden anyone from cooperating with us. Obstructed at every turn. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can still find a way forward. To that end, I would like you to all join me here, when the time is right, of course. I'm aware that matters in Eorzea stand on a knife edge, but with your permission, I can at least start making necessary arrangements. I've always wanted to visit Shalian. And so you shall, albeit under less than happy circumstances. It may take a while to secure entry for you all, but I'll let you know when everything's in order. Look after yourselves in the meantime, won't you? Your speculations have given me cause to hope. Yet if these seas will bear fruit, I cannot say. While it is possible Shalians hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that the exposure will prompt them to change heart. So for the present, we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has refused our request for aid and it falls to us alone to contend with Telafri. Even with all of Eorzea standing united, there's no guarantee we will prevail. What does Shalian intend to do if we fail? Their knowledge, Shalian could have done so much for the cause. They could have helped us uncover the secrets of the towers and save the tempered captives within. And yet, gods! Oh, my child. I remember grandfather arguing with my father over Shalian's policy of non-intervention. And this time it was my turn to play the role. But even my grandfather could not win him over. What chance had I? Words exist I may sway him, I know not what they are. The forum includes representatives from all shopping and central institutions. With them hindering Canal's investigation, she will struggle to make any headway on her own. While Charlene's stance is indeed disappointing, we cannot allow ourselves to be distracted from the challenge before us. There is much and more to be done. I shall begin by sharing the forum's response with our counterparts in the Alliance. Meanwhile, I would ask that the Scions... Grave tidings, walking ones. Grave tidings. Calm yourself, my gentle friend. What has occurred? These ones who went to see feathered ones and sent terrible news. Destroying ones have appeared in Zolotol. Destroying ones captured. And captured ones even frightened the gully ones. Feathered ones didn't stand a chance and were sent flapping and squawking. When did this happen? Is it too late to help them? Too late, yes, much too late. But luckily, destroying ones were only passing through and continued on west. Feathered ones did not fight but left unharmed. West. That would be curves. My lady, the Guardians report that Telefari have emerged from the east and have the Curtis and are marching at speed. Though the purpose is yet to be determined, the Carjano Flats will be a human and most likely destination. Lord Emmerich has already dispatched his forces and requested our immediate support. Tell him he shall have it. The time is come for the Grand Company of the Arizona to prove its worth. Well, we have to set its mercy that we do not have time to steal upon our misfortunes. Come, my friends, and let us make haste to Carson. Wait, this one almost forgot. Destroying ones were said to be led by cackling probed one. This one must see that all walking one knows. Farewell. Van. Who else? It was only a matter of time before that grinning maniac showed himself again. Shall have an airship ready to bury the Carson. Pray see to your preparations. Report to the landing with all haste. At once, my lady. Let us away. The airship will be ready to depart ere long. I beg you make your landing as soon as you're able. And may the 12 keep you. Alpha knows that it has been unexpectedly delayed. You should probably go and see for yourself. He's by the entrance. We'll praise our comrades with the rising stones of the situation. They will head directly to Carson. Come on! It will only take a moment, all right? Sarah, it seems Fordola has come here all the way to Gordani to find us. Explain the situation, but she insists her business is urgent. Aye, and it'll be over sooner if you shut up and come with me.
Baronvold! I can't tell you how good it is to see you.
It arrived a lot sooner than expected, eh? The day I craned my neck up at you.
Only because you're sitting down. Unless...
Afraid so. The Chirurgeons say I may never walk again. Come on, Alfino, it could be worse. Besides, I didn't come here to dampen the mood. Quite the opposite. All I've ever wanted was to fight for a cause I believe in. But my fighting days are over. So I want you to fight in my stead. Be the hero I can't.
I am no hero.
That's what they all say, though. No one ever calls themselves a hero. Even the ones who eat primals for breakfast. It's for others to decide. Look, Alfino. You already are a hero. To me and countless others. We see you doing your damnedest to protect us all. And you're not alone, are you? There are people who believe in you, just as you believe in them.
I'll be sure to give you regards to the Telophoroi.
I know what's at stake, and how many people are depending on you. But I believe in you. Believe that you'll see it through. That's why I'm entrusting my dreams to you. Like Albert and Owley once entrusted their dreams to me.
There was a time when I would have borne the weight of such expectations without a second thought. But now, I know just how heavy that burden can be. To tell the truth, I'm beginning to wonder if I chose the right path. Sacrifices will inevitably be made for the sake of the ideals I uphold. Maybe I am not the person I thought I was. The person you think I am.
I wouldn't presume to tell you. But I will say this. In spite of everything, you've come this far. The road ahead might not always be clear, but you've never been one to give up or take the easy way out. And everything you do for others. For a brighter future. I'm proud to call you my friend. Well, I've said my piece, so I'll let you go. I know you've got more important things to be doing. Just give what I've said some thought, all right?
I shall, my friend. And we will meet again soon, I promise.
Nothing left for me to do but wave and smile.
You've got a pretty narrow view of what it means to be a hero. Do you know that? You think they're all forged in the fires of battle? That it's all about being brave and killing villains? Alphinaud and the others will carry on their fight. But theirs isn't the only one. There are other ways you can make a difference. If you stop feeling sorry for yourself and put your bloody mind to it.
There's not much chance of me living the quiet life with you around, is there?
If you're content to twiddle your thumbs thinking of what might have been, that's your lookout. Then I reckon you've got some fight left in you.
And I reckon you might be right. If there's a way I can still help my friends, I'll bloody well find it.
I'd rather doubt Fordola obtained the courage and inspiration before bringing our vault halfway across the realm. And solely to deliver a message like that. They should both have known better. What's done is done. I will not soon forget his words. After Palathon, I assumed the Telafroi would continue to target settlements, despite the considered Zalfatol a mere obstacle on the road to Carson. What then draws them to the flats? We must keep a close eye on the roads.